and 25 churches, including 2 in diaspora. The incoming bishop emerged top among 3 nominees for the position. Others nominated for the position were Kenny Sege, who presides over CITAM Thika Road, and Charles Obara, who heads CITAM Karen.
Wisdom and the power by which to serve your people.
During the CITAM annual delegates conference, Odede called on the CITAM church members to stand with him in his new journey as the Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries.
Just to know that in your heart God laid a burden that we should walk this journey together. And it's a journey that, as I've mentioned already earlier on, we do not know the direction, but the Lord knows the direction.
Odede is a graduate of Kenyatta University, Trinity International University in USA, and Bethany International University in Singapore. However, before his ratification at CITAM, Odede had been a pastor at the Nairobi Baptist Church. He also worked with the Fellowship of Christian Union, focus with students in universities and colleges for 13 years. Outgoing CITAM Bishop David Oginde is confident that Odede will bring his expertise to advance the spirituality of the ministry.
It is our prayer that God will go before you. Ours is to express our congratulations at you as you step into this saddle.
Different leaders have lauded and acknowledged Odede's ratification. Among these leaders included Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, who in a Twitter statement said, and I quote, "My utmost congratulations to Callisto Odede on his appointment as presiding bishop of CITAM Church. May the Lord continue guiding you as you serve in his vineyard." Bishop Callisto Odede was supposed to be ratified on the 25th of April 2020, but the process was brought to a long wait by the COVID-19 pandemic.
So please type it in the question and answer section.
Dr. David Oginde and a member of the Interfaith Council dealing with COVID-19 pandemic in Kenya took over the leadership in 2010, succeeding Bishop Boniface Adoyo. Mark Kimundo for Hope TV, Nairobi.
A section of elected women leaders have come out to strongly support the Building Bridges Initiative BBI report ahead of its unveiling in due course. Led by Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, the leaders cited the 2/3 gender rule that has put Parliament on the spotlight for failure to enact the law, saying they are confident that the BBI will address the matter and ensure inclusivity amongst all Kenyans. The women leaders have also slammed leaders who are opposed to the report, saying they should not oppose what they are yet to see. Dickens Luvanda tells us more.
As Kenyans await for the much-awaited launch of the BBI report, women leaders under the Team Embrace banner have once again thrown their weight behind it, saying the report will have no doubt addressed the plight of women in the country.
We as women will be dancing and saying we are going with the BBI 100% full throttle.
The elected women leaders, led by Governor Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga County, Suba North Member of Parliament Millie Mabona, Isiolo Senator Fatuma Dulo, MPs Mishi Mboko of Likoni, Esa Pasares of Nairobi, Danita Gatti, among other leaders, while responding to reports that the BBI proposes that Kenyans will vote for 94 senators in the 2022 general election to cure the 2/3 gender rule headache in Parliament, said they are fully behind it.
The BBI presents a historic opportunity for full and conclusive implementation of the 2/3 gender rule, and we therefore hope that the final report we therefore expect that the final report to be released soon will reflect this position. We're in complete agreement with His Excellency, the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, that peace, unity of purpose and stability are tested and proven preconditions for economic progress.
In the implementation, it must be at all levels. At the national level, executive. Number 2, at the legislative level, that is Parliament. Number 3, at the county level. So all those structures, as far as 2/3 gender rule is concerned, must be able to implement 2/3 gender rule, and we expect actually that in BBI report.
Tulipokuwa tukizunguka kutoka county mpaka county, region mpaka region,
tukiweza kuelimisha Wakenya sana kuhusu BBI na yale manufaa ambayo BBI ilikuwa imeandalia Wakenya. Kwa hivyo mimi kwa niaba ya wamama walio na ulemavu ama watu walio na ulemavu, tena vile ambavyo mmesikia, BBI ndio ambayo itaangazia maneno ya watu walio na ulemavu nchini Kenya, kuhakikisha kwamba ile tunaita representation yetu pia inachukuliwa na inapatiwa kipaumbele katika BBI.
Reports say that the yet to be released report will see the Senate composed of one man and one woman elected in each of the 47 counties, besides proposing mixed representation in the National Assembly, where 290 members of parliament will be elected on first-past-the-post basis. An additional 63 seats will be allocated based on actual votes cast per county, thereby increasing National Assembly members to 353, a move that the women leaders say will be a major boost to the 2/3 gender parity matter that has seen Chief Justice David Maraga advise President Uhuru Kenyatta for failure to implement it 10 years after promulgation of the new constitution.
Katika kuzindua ripoti hii ya BBI, tunataka tuwe na amani kama taifa la Kenya, kwa sababu haswa lengo na madhumuni ya BBI ilikuwa kuleta Wakenya pamoja, kuweza kuweka amani katika taifa letu la Kenya na kuweza kuangazia yale matatizo nyeti ambayo pengine yangetuletea uhasama sisi kama taifa la Kenya.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and his BBI partner ODM party leader Raila Odinga are expected to receive the validated BBI report from the Garissa County Senator Yusuf Haji-led task force in a date yet to be announced. Deputy President William Ruto has led his allies in political rallies opposing the document, saying it seeks to create positions for a selected few instead of addressing the economic effects of job hunting for the youth and empowerment of the marginalized groups.
There's another area that I also feel that, and we hope that the BBI would have solved, is the parties, the political parties. Political parties also have to be held into account in giving nominations to women.
We are saying we are supporting the BBI in principle because we do not know as yet what is contained. But in principle, from what we have heard, it's about building bridges. And building bridges, which includes building ethnic bridges, building gender bridges, building geographical bridges, and building peace.
Dickens Lavanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Elsewhere, Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has urged members of the County Assembly MCAs from Western Kenya region to support the Building Bridges Initiative BBI. Oparanya, who is also the Council of Governors chairman, said through BBI, counties are set to get more resources for development, therefore boosting devolution.
Na lengo letu ni kuleta nchi hii pamoja. Wananchi na wale viongozi wote wafanyie kazi pamoja. Mnajua kama tuna amani katika mahali popote, watu wana amani, watafanya kazi yao bila tisho lolote. Na hiyo ndio tunafanya. Aswa nachukua nafasi hii kupikia asante Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Amolo Odinga kuja pamoja. Hao wawili kuja pamoja imeleta amani katika nchi hii. Na wamekuja pamoja kupitia BBI. Hii BBI ina mambo mengi mazuri. Najua nyinyi mtapata nafasi ya kusoma. Wachaitoa kirasmi, lakini itatolewa hivi karibuni. Wacha nimwambie kama kiongozi wenu, tukifika wakati huo, tuunge mkono BBI. Tunataka maendeleo katika kila kona. Tunataka pesa nyingi zije katika serikali zetu za ukatuzi. Wakati huu katika ukatuzi tuna shida kubwa ya pesa. Pesa nyingi imepaki huko Nairobi. Tunataka pesa itoke Nairobi ije isaidie watu mashinani, kwa sababu mashinani ndio watu wengi wanaishi, na hiyo ndio sisi tuko. Hayo mambo tukitembea kila mahali ndio tunaongea. Tukifika 2022, Nyasaye akijalia tufike huko, basi tutasema ile njia tunataka tuende.
Now, Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa and her bodyguard Geoffrey Okuto Otieno have been remanded until Thursday, the 22nd of October, when they will be expected to take plea in a case where they are accused of murder. The two appeared before Mombasa High Court Judge Njoki Mwangi on Monday morning before the court directed that the two undergo a mental assessment at the Coast General Hospital before the plea taking. Patrobo Joang gives us this story.
Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa and her aide Geoffrey Otieno will spend their Mashujaa holiday in custody after the court ordered that they be remanded for 3 days. Jumwa and her bodyguard presented themselves in court days after the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP approved murder and assault charges against them over the killing of a man and injury of several other people during Malindi's Ganda ward by-election in 2019. The two appeared before Mombasa High Court Judge Justice Njoki Mwangi to answer to murder charges on Monday, but did not, as they had not undergone a mental assessment.
The procedure in this court is that all accused persons must undergo pre-bail assessment and psychiatric examination before the court can set their bail bond terms. That is yet to be done in this case. I do take note that the accused persons are entitled to bail pending trial under the provisions of Article 49, Subarticle 1H of the Constitution of Kenya. The considerations upon which they had been released, in the lower court are different and are now extinguished.
The court directed that the Member of Parliament and her aide be remanded at the Port Police before being presented for mental assessment at the Coast General Hospital on Wednesday, throwing away the bond terms that they had been given earlier. The court said the bond issued at the lower court was an anticipatory bond, therefore not applicable in the current case. After Mombasa Regional DPP Alois Kemo told the court not to grant Jumwa and her aide bond since they had ignored the summons. According to Kemo, Jumwa and her co-accused were issued with a summon to present themselves for mental assessment but failed to do so.
Masters are ready for play. Despite this information and the promise both accused gave that they were going to...
Jumwa is accused of shooting dead 48-year-old Gumbao Jola, an uncle of the current MCA Reuben Katana, during his campaign meeting when he was vying in the Ganda ward by-election in Malindi constituency in 2019. Patrobo Juang, Hope TV Newswatch.
Members of Parliament are expected to hold a sitting so as to vet 16 nominees for the ambassadorial positions issued by the Head of Public Service, Joseph Kinyua. Now, Speaker Justin Muturi has already issued a notification informing the members that upon House resumption on the 3rd of November, they will have to debate and vet the 16 nominees who are from a list of 25 nominees, among them former IEBC Commissioners Margaret Mwachanya, Connie Nkatha and Paul Kurgat. Mwachanya has been picked to be Kenya's Deputy Head of Mission to Islamabad, Pakistan. Meanwhile, Nkatha and Kurgat were nominated to be Deputy Head of Mission in Moscow, Russia and Rome, Italy, respectively. Chief Justice David Maraga says plans are in place to set up a court in Marigat, Baringo County in an effort to reduce the hassle and the long distances that residents make in a bid to access justice. Maraga made the remarks during his visit to the Eldama Ravine Magistrates Court complex that is under construction, acknowledging that the project has faced funding challenges.
The message to the people of Baringo is that I have directed that we start a court in Marigat. We are going to start a court in Marigat as soon as possible, so that because of the distances people are traveling. This one of Eldama Ravine particularly, I know there is, we have some little money, we have a bit of money, so I came to see where it is, so that, because I know the congestion here. Our staff are working in very, very congested place, particularly during this time of COVID. It is chaotic. So I decided to come here and see how far the building has gone. It is tall long ago, and we are going to do what we can to have it at least completed, even part of it, so that the staff can move there and begin using it. There are cases we don't refer to the community to deal with. Criminal cases, we don't refer them to the community, except for simple assaults, minor assaults, where people can reconcile. But the serious offenses, criminal offenses, they are done in court. Defilement is a very, very serious criminal offense, so it is not referred there. The report I have is that the CUCs, are the court users committee. I mean the court users. We have a committee known as the CUC. I'm very happy with the report I've got here about how the various government agencies and the court and even the community, including the religious people, are working together in resolving quite a number of cases, and I have urged them. Cases like succession, even land cases, some of them are just simple boundary disputes. We want them resolved at home, and that will reduce the congestion in court. Besides the fact that it keeps some succession is between families, siblings. So when they resolve those cases at home, they remain brothers and sisters, and they don't go fighting in court.
On that note, we take a fast commercial break. Newswatch will be right back. Don't go too far.
Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship, only on Extended Worship.
Are you looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Look no further than Garden of Joy in Machakos by Optiven. The project strategically sits between the Mua and Koma Hills, providing you with beautiful landscapes, fresh air and a much-needed break from the hustle and bustle of the city. The Garden of Joy also comes with a jogging track, a meditation park and a children's play area, making it the perfect location to set up your countryside home. Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana au?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi ona Qur'ani? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambayo mnakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani.
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Health operations in public health facilities. Health operations in public health facilities are likely to be affected after leaders allied to the Kenya Health Professional Society, KHPS, which is made up of 7 unions representing 17 cadres of health workers, vow to take to the streets for what they say is failure by their employer, the Ministry of Health, to address their grievances. According to the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers KUSO Secretary General George Gibore, the health workers will not be at their workstations to attend to Kenyans beginning 29th October unless the Ministry of Health gives them a listening ear.
All aggrieved healthcare workers serving under the Ministry of Health shall commence a strike without further notice beginning on the eve of 29th October 2020. We have made our demand very clear. These are not just things we are taking from the blue moon, are issues that are provided under policies and laws that are supposed to govern us.
We are telling them, let them hear, let them open their ears and let them open their eyes. We are not begging them anymore. We are going, for those of us even who are not unionized, we will sit in and we are not going to serve anybody.
The health professionals had issued a similar strike notice in May, but was unfruitful after the Labour Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelogui initiated talks, which they now say have not addressed the problem on the ground. The 17 cadres who say are tired of boardroom talks are lamenting that most of them have not received promotions, adding that some have stayed in one job group for up to 15 years.
Other cadres who have been promoted more than several times, and others are stagnated in one job group for the last 15 years, and others even 20 years. And I think we have been very patient. We have been very complacent. We have tried to because of the global pandemic and because of our patriotism, we have tried as much as possible to engage our employer very soberly and very understandingly. But they don't seem to understand.
Despite the situation that we have, we need justice, and justice can only be done once they are promoted and redesignated to their respective job group.
The coronavirus pandemic has seen the medical fraternity come out to decry of historical injustices. Being at the front line in the fight against COVID-19, they have come out to point an accusing finger at the government for failure to protect them adequately against contracting the virus, as well as lack of compensation for many of them who have fallen sick in the line of duty.
We are working with people. We are being supervised by people who are heartless, who have no feeling, because they think the work of the Ministry of Health is only COVID-19. They have forgotten all other issues like maternal health care, HIV. They are not aware of anything. They are chasing the Mandazi COVID-19 and the sausage COVID-19 and the Kemsa COVID-19.
The health professionals now say as important as COVID-19 is, other ailments including maternal care should not be sidelined, drawing attention to monies looted in the name of COVID-19. Grace Angoi, Hope TV News Watch.
For the union makers.
19 numbers as the government continues to warn Kenyans against laxity in obeying COVID-19 regulations. The number of COVID-19 patients put on the supplemental or oxygen in the ICU has risen from 28 to 39 in the last 24 hours, as the country recorded 195 new coronavirus cases Monday from a sample pool of 1,852 in the last 24 hours. The fatality rate has also risen to 839, with 7 more deaths recorded in the last 24 hours. Cumulative samples tested are at 6,023,828. The new positive cases at 195. Total confirmed cases at 43,580. Nairobi is at 99, Busia at 18, Uasin Gishu at 17, Nyandarua has 1 case, Nandi has 1 case. To other stories now, leaders in Uasin Gishu County have expressed concerns over the sharp rise in COVID-19 infections across the county. Governor Jackson Mandago says the move is worrying and urged members of the public to go back to strictly wearing masks, washing their hands, and keeping the social distance of 1.5 meters. This follows an autopsy result that showed the late Huruma Ward MCA Peter Chomba died of coronavirus, prompting the immediate closure of the Uasin Gishu County Assembly for 21 days.
We wish to convey our heartfelt condolences to the family and to the people of Huruma Ward, where Honorable Chomba represented, for this sudden loss of Mheshimiwa Chomba. Unfortunately, we've lost Honorable Chomba to the COVID pandemic, which has drastically now affected the arrangements that we had already put in place for the funeral. We had decided that we are going to honor our late MCA with a funeral for the county that we would equate to a state funeral at the national government. And our arrangements was that tomorrow we would have been viewing the body officially here at the county assembly. But as you are all aware that the COVID protocols now takes charge, and we have very little control as a committee now on what happens and what needs to be done. We have lowered our guard. If you walk around town, you will see people without masks. I've been to a few supermarkets. I no longer see people washing hands. I don't see them asking people to ensure social distance. I want to say that we have witnessed an increase. All of you saw the results of the testing yesterday. Was in Gishu County at 72 cases. The previous day, I think a day or two back there, we had around 40-something. Now, if you look at the trend, unfortunately, it seems to be increasing. Now, we want to urge the members of the public to be vigilant. Let's go back to the protocols. Let's wear a mask. Let's wash our hands. Let's keep social distance. All business operators, please, let's go back to the things that we were doing that was making us reduce the rates of infection.
Political leaders in Turkana County have continued to fault the Teachers Service Commission TSC for allegedly failing to consider all teachers from the county in the ongoing recruitment of teachers in the country. Led by Governor Josephat Nanok, the leaders demanded that TSC applies affirmative action and considers teachers from the county in the 46 positions that were advertised. Speaking during the burial of former Lake Zone MCA Moses Lomobong, the leader said the positions should go to the locals, adding that the county has been employing staff in other ministries, especially the health ministry, who do not come from the local community.
Kila mara tunaajiri karibu 60% ya watu ambao wanatoka nje ya kaunti hii. Sasa TSC kasi kidogo ya kuajiri walimu 46. Na walimu ambayo wamehitimu hapa wako zaidi ya 300. Kwa nini unatafuta kutoka huko? Ni mwalimu mgani anajua kuzungumza na watoto wa Turkana hapa? Pana letea sisi hiyo upusi. Andika wa Turkana. Ajiri kama wako hapa, ajiri. Kama vile mimi na ajiri pia wale wa kutoka sehemu zingine.
Director of Education wa TNC anatakana awe ni mtu wa kutii sheria na kuheshimu maslahi ya kila jamii kama sehemu ya nchi hii. Haiwezekani kwamba sheria iko ya kupeana kipaumbele kwa locals, alafu wewe unaweka sheria nyuma, labda unachukua pesa ya watu, alafu unakuja kurecruit watu wengine, unaacha wenyeji hapa.
And over 2,000 girls from Isiolo, Marsabit, Meru and Samburu counties have a reason to smile after 2 non-governmental organizations working in the area launched a program to donate sanitary towels and solar-enabled lanterns that also have radios. Now, Beatrice Kulal Foundation and Child Fund have partnered in the initiative launched by the Isiolo County Government as the country marks the annual International Periods Day.
And director of the Beatrice Fulal Foundation. We are partnering with the Nawiri Child Development Fund and the counties in the Isiolo, Marsabit and Samburu counties that are part of the Northern Corridor counties. And our focus as a company is to ensure that we provide sustainable development programs for the Northern Corridor communities. And one of the projects that we are contributing today is the flagship of this particular project in honor of the period day and also contribution to the International Day of the Girl Child. So our focus today is to ensure that for the next 8 days we are able to be a part of the program that Nawiri has started together with the counties in the Northern Corridor. So we'll be distributing menstrual kits to the ladies. That is involvement of pads, panties, and giving them menstrual hygiene mentorship program.
Let's take another commercial break. When we return, we shall take a look at the day's business news.
Nani alisema mimi si mtoto wa Mungu? Mimi nakwambia matajiri wanakuanga wametarau watu sana. Mtos, habari asubuhi?
Nzuri sana.
Unacho unaongea na milionea sahi. Mimi nimekuja tu kukuambia sifanye tena hii kazi yenyu ya nyumba. Mnaonanga ni kama mnanisaidia sana kunitreat kama slave. Awinja, fanya. Awinja, chukua awi.
Okay.
Mimi sahi ni milionea bwana.
Kopi chai kwanza.
Chai ya nini?
Chai.
Nani anakuserve chai? Nani anakufanyia kazi? In fact hata naweza kukuandika kazi sasa hivi ukitaka. Equity wamenipikia. Wakaniambia you are the winner of 10 million Kenya shillings. Kitu tunataka tu kwako, tutumie PIN number yako, IT number yako na account number yako. Tunakufanyia nini? Tunakuwekea 10 million kwa account.
So washaweka.
Hawachaweka, sinataka kuwatumia hizo details.
Unaongea hivi vyote ni kama wameweka.
Wanaenda kuweka, kwani nachukua mtakani, nataka tu nikitoka hapa nje hata nishaota taxi.
Wacha nione namba wamekupigia nayo.
Ndio hiyo.
Hii namba wamekupigia nayo.
Ndio hiyo.
Confirm, is this 0763 000
Si hiyo, lakini kwa wamenipikia kutoka headquarter ya Equity.
Good. Kenya unafanya, you are dealing with wakora. Wao ni wakora una deal nao. Go back, nilete chai.
Unachuache ni wakora.
The only number Equity unaweza kupigia nayo ni 0763 000. Sawa? Asante sana. Rudisha hizo vitu tafadhali, uende sasa uwekee milioni ya ukweli chai.
Haina neno mtu. Chai yako ungependa hata white au black, ungetaka nikutengeze kuku ya mayai ya kienyeji.
Tengeneza sasa ya milionea sasa. Tengeneza chai ya milionea sasa, milionea ukweli.
Haina shida mtu.
Asante sana
Asante.
Okay, asante.
Wewe, nitakuwa mkeni wa nani? Akisi niepuka nimechiwekea haki.
And remember, Equity will only call you from one number, 0763 000.
Mtos.
Yes.
Chai kako tayari.
Asante.
Now you can always be sure it's Equity calling. When we call you, we will use only one number, 0763 000 000. Always be sure it is Equity calling.
To business news now, the government has been able to successfully turn around the fortunes of the Agricultural Finance Corporation AFC into a profitable institution financing the agriculture sector. This is according to the AFC board chairman Franklin Bett, who said that in 2011 the institution was ailing, but the new managing director took the challenge with a lot of courage and wisdom, and the hand of God helped him to successfully turn around the fortunes of the corporation to be an institution everyone is proud of. Bett was speaking at the AFC's head office during the official handing over ceremony for the MD position, where he congratulated the outgoing MD Lucas Meso, saying when he came in, the revenue was at 900 million. As he leaves, the revenue stands at 1.6 billion shillings.
You took the challenge with lots of courage, with wisdom, and the hand of God, and you managed to pull it back from where it was headed and pulled it forward, pulled it to where it is today. It's an institution to be proud of. It's an institution that one would want to head, want to be the leader. It is because of your wisdom, it is because of your abilities, and I say thank you again.
We've also maintained very good rating, performance rating for government. And I must also say we have managed to seriously reduce the stock of non-performing loans amidst the difficulties that the industry has been experiencing. This is the handover. Thank you.
Is expected to submit a revised 2020-2021 supplementary budget for approval by the National Assembly. This is after the Treasury raised the budget estimates for the year from 2.79 trillion shillings to 2.92 trillion shillings, raising pressure on the Kenya Revenue Authority, which has continually fallen short of its target owing to a tough operating environment which has seen businesses close shop and employees laid off. Here is Joe Jesse with that report.
A slow economy across the world will see Kenya review its financial prospects, with the global economy projected to contract by 4.9% in 2020 from a growth of 2.9% in 2019. With the pandemic slowing the economic activity in the country, Kenya's economic growth has been put at 4.9% compared to a growth of 5.5% in a similar period in 2019. The 2020 budget review and outlook paper published on the National Treasury website shows the Treasury has proposed to raise allocation for development to 675.2 billion Kenya shillings from the originally approved 589.7 billion Kenya shillings. Recurrent expenditure is expected to trend marginally upwards by 17 billion Kenya shillings to 1.844 trillion Kenya shillings. The review, as per the Finance Management PFM Act 2012 and its regulation, also shows that allocations to counties are set to grow to 395.2 billion Kenya shillings from 369.2 billion Kenya shillings. This with the actual disbursements to the county governments during the financial year 2019-2020 totaling to 338 billion Kenya shillings. The review signal higher borrowing, with the Treasury expected to borrow a higher of 1 trillion Kenya shillings in the financial year to June 2021. On the domestic front, Treasury is expected to borrow a net of 600 billion Kenya shillings from the originally planned 494.3 billion Kenya shillings as the revenues shrink, with the fiscal deficit excluding grants amounting to 831.8 billion Kenya shillings, which is 8.2% of the GDP. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Joe Jesse.
The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, has installed an automated aeronautical search and rescue system inside the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, to improve response time in an event of an aircraft distress call or crash. The new system marks a shift from the manual system, which has been in use and blamed for the slow response and prolonged search and rescue in the event of an aircraft accident. KCAA Director General Captain Gilbert Kibbe said the system installed at the Africa Regional Center for Computing ARCC will greatly boost chances of tracking aircraft in distress and thus saving lives. Let's take a short breather now, and then we will take a look at international news.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana au?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi ona Qur'an? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambaye mwanakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani.
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
To international news now, vote counting is underway in Guinea to determine who will be the next president of the West African nation. Sunday's election, which pitted incumbent President Alpha Conde against opposition leader Cellou Dalein Diallo, was the main culmination of months of political unrest over a controversial new constitution that allowed Conde to bypass the two-term limit for the president's post. Conde became Guinea's first democratically elected president in 2010, after decades as an opposition activist, with the new constitution prompting mass protests and harsh criticism by human rights groups about democracy backsliding in the country. At least 50 people have been killed in the past year during mass protests of the new constitution, with citizens opposing Conde's bid for re-election. On the eve of the elections, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres issued a statement calling on all national stakeholders to ensure that the polls are conducted in an inclusive and peaceful manner. US President Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger Joe Biden have kicked off the final stretch of the election season, with both campaigning in states they hope to flip on in the November 3 presidential elections. With just more than 2 weeks before the election, Trump visited Nevada on Sunday, making a rare visit to church before an evening rally in Carson City, as former Vice President Joe Biden campaigned in North Carolina, where he held an afternoon event encouraging supporters to vote for him.
Trump said in one of his rallies, "We've turned the corner." And my grandfather would say, "This guy's gone around the bend if he thinks we turned the corner."
If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression. Instead of, we're like a rocket ship. Take a look at the numbers.
To sports news now, AFC Leopards have completed the signing of attacking midfielder Harrison Mwendwa from Kariobangi Sharks, ending their long search for the hotshot. The club confirmed the signing on Monday morning with an announcement on their website, while adding that the 28-year-old will wear jersey number 7 at the club. The left winger is expected to give coach Anthony Kimani more attacking options as the Big Cats bid to end a 22-year-old wait for the league title. On the sides, Harambee Stars midfielder Michael Kibwage has joined Football Kenya Federation Premier League side Sofapaka on a 2-year deal from KCB, marking another big transfer made by head coach John Baraza to strengthen his side that struggled in the 2019-2020 season. Hotspurs blew a 3-0 goal lead in unbelievable fashion as Manuel Lanzini's goal of the season candidate at the very death led West Ham to a 3-3 draw at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday. The rocket goal ruined Gareth Bale's return and another worldly first half from Harry Kane and Heung Min Son, who went wild in the first half. Kane scored twice and assisted Son for another, as Spurs scored thrice before the game was 20 minutes old. Son assisted one of Kane's goals, with Sergio Reguilon assisting the other. And Ross Barkley scored a spectacular late winner as Aston Villa continued their remarkable 100% winning start at the Premier League season with victory at Leicester. The Lone Stars struck in the first minute of the added time as Dean Smith's side moved to a second with 12 points from 12 available. Villa had been the more threatening side in the second half, with Grealish pulling the strings, and just when we thought we were headed for the first goalless draw of the season, Barkley popped up with a lovely winner. The result means Villa are a point behind early pace-setters Everton, having played a game less, while Leicester remain fourth. With that, we come to the end of Newswatch tonight. Thank you for having kept me company. I've been your host, Melissa Odor. My sign language interpreter has been Boniface Mureithi. Have a wonderful evening.
Nani alisema mimi si mtoto wa Mungu? Mimi nakwambia matajiri wanakuanga wametarau watu sana. Mtos, habari ya asubuhi?
Nzuri sana.
Unajua unaongea na milionea saa hii. Mimi nimekuja tu kukuambia sifanye tena hii kazi yenyu ya nyumba. Mnaonanga ni kama mnanisaidia sana kunitreat kama slave. Awinja, fanya. Awinja, chukua awi.
Okay.
Mimi saa hii ni milionea bwana.
Kopi chai kwanza.
Chai ya nini?
Chai.
Nani anakuserve chai? Nani anakufanyia kazi? In fact hata naweza kukuandika kazi sasa hivi ukitaka. Equity wamenipikia. Wakaniambia you are the winner of 10 million Kenya shillings. Kitu tunataka tu kwako, tutumie PIN number yako, IT number yako na account number yako. Tunakufanyia nini? Tunakuwekea 10 million kwa account.
So washaweka.
Hawachaweka, sinataka kuwatumia hizo details.
Unaongea hivi vyote ni kama wameweka.
Wanaenda kuweka, kwani nachukua mtakani, nataka tu nikitoka hapa nje hata nishaota taxi.
Wacha nione namba wamekupigia nayo.
Ndio hiyo.
Hii namba wamekupigia nayo.
Ndio hiyo.
Confirm, is this 0763 000
Si hiyo, lakini si wamenipikia kutoka headquarter ya Equity.
Good. Kenya unafanya, you are dealing with wakora. Wao ni wakora una deal nao. Go back, nilete chai.
Unachuache ni wakora.
The only number Equity unaweza kupigia nayo ni 0763 000 000. Sawa? Asante sana. Rudisha hizo vitu tafadhali, uende sasa uwekee milioni ya ukweli chai.
Haina neno mtoto. Chai yako ungependa hata white au black. Ungetaka nikutengeze kuku ya mayai ya kienyeji.
Tengeneza sasa ya milionea sasa. Tengeneza chai ya milionea sasa, milionea ya ukweli.
Haina shida mtoto.
Asante sana
Asante.
Okay, asante.
Nitakuwa mkeni wa nani? Akisi niepuka nimechiwekea haki.
And remember, Equity will only call you from one number, 0763 000 000.
Mtos.
Yes.
Kachai kako tayari.
Asante.
Now you can always be sure it's Equity calling. When we call you, we will use only one number, 0763 000 000. Always be sure it is Equity calling.